What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Cannell Games with our final episode of the first season of this lower league save as we progress, or attempt to progress, through the 22 tiers of English football. So just to briefly recap before we get to our final match of the season, we are sitting top of the table, but with only 1 point lead over second place Heath Rangers, and only 3 points ahead of Skeins Hill, so nothing is officially clinched yet. Obviously, our goal differential looks pretty good, but if disaster strikes, then we could be in for some disappointment today. Obviously, finishing top of the table and winning the division would be a nice bonus, but for this competition, there is no prize money, so it's not like we'll be losing anything out if we do drop to second place. And despite the slow starts for both us and Heath Rangers, the season has ended up roughly where, well, Heath Rangers actually dropped, roughly where the season prediction said right from the beginning. So, good to them. Despite our slow start, we were able to come around a little bit. So just to quickly recap, since our unfortunate semifinal defeat in the Mid-Sussex Junior Cup, we defeated Skeins Hill 3-1 in a very, very important game here. Lots of goals early on. Ryan Salmon scored, I think, in the first 14 seconds. It was something really, really early. Calvin Pike shot one back, and then we scored just before halftime. We had a sending off. We were down to 10 men. Ryan Salmon got hurt. And then Paul Houghton came on for us later on to sort of seal the deal in the 86th minute. Despite being down to 10 men for the majority of the game, we still did fairly well with 60% possession, far more chances than the opposition, and it looked like we were going to sort of be able to clinch the league fairly easily with our matchup against Ringmer here. However, things did not go according to plan. Fairly boring match. Absolute wealth of possession for us, 61%, but we were unable to break down Ringmer's defense and really get quality chances. You can see the only one single shot on target, just weren't really getting things through. A lot of block shots, and the big thing that we were missing was Ryan Salmon, who we're going to be looking at in just a second with how serious his injury was. But an early goal, or early-ish goal in the 29th minute from Ringmer, and they sort of set up shop after that. So the unfortunate thing for us is, well, a couple of things. I don't remember if I brought this up or how long ago it happened, but you'll remember, Gary Walton. I don't know where he went. But our top prospect, Walton, he's gone. He was poached from us, and I can't remember if I mentioned that last episode, but he's gone, taken away. And some of our staff was taken away, and you can see Ryan Salmon here. He's out for 5 to 6 weeks. Torn knee ligaments, so that's the end of his season. We'll see how bad it is. If it really affects his pace, at 28 years old, we may be in some trouble if we're moving up a division. He may not really be up to the task next season. So, but I'm expecting quite a bit of turnover anyway into next season. So hopefully, thank you for your service, Ryan. You've done a great job. You can see here 13 goals in 18 appearances. 6 assists as well, 7.26 rating. Did very well in the cups as well, 4 goals in 7 cup matches. He's had a great season, so it's unfortunate that his career with Cannell Independent may be ending with an injury. Aside from that, we have a full strength side going into our final matchup of the season. So let's take a look at this lineup that we're going to be having for our final match of the inaugural season of Cannell Independent. Not too many surprises. The only real change is Houghton playing the lone poaching role up top, with Dodds as the supporting striker. Hayes is our advanced playmaker, and then Hotchkiss getting the day off. But Parsons at the attacking central midfielder position. Callum Woods has sort of solidified himself as a ball-winning midfielder. Darren Clark was actually injured for a little bit, but he'll be coming in for Willis Croft off the bench if we need a little more tackling and marking, a little more defensive, as opposed to a more athletic ball winner who can then transition into a more offensive role. And then Jennings as our deep lying playmaker. No surprises along the back line. Stone and Keogh on the wings with Kabaki and Taylor in the middle. Another change was, we lost Aaron Grundy. So I gave him that one run out, and then taken by Borowash, and then Wave Tree Botanic there took Walton. So, Craig Wilson is now fit. Never played, though. He's we'll see how he develops. But, you know, we're going to stick with Robertson for the final matchup of the season. We have Logan Jeffs off the bench, Darren Clark at the defensive midfield position, Ollie Hotchkiss as our more offensive-oriented substitution off the bench, and then Robert Davidson as our lone defensive, as our left side defensive substitution. Kelvin Sullivan as a change of pace striker. He's been playing quite a bit for our reserve squad, so his match fitness is up there and may be a viable option, but we're going to sort of keep things as sort of poacher-oriented moving forward. Okay, so, how do we motivate this squad to not screw this one up? Clinch the title with a victory? Perfect. All right, so no one's upset. A couple people are happy. Let's get it done. Let's get it done. Let's get it done. Have to be calm. Don't want to spook them. They spook easily. It's a very tender group of individuals here. And let's get this match started. So Ashurst Wood, despite their red logo will be in the blue kits, we're in our trademark orange. Good to not be in the seafoam green to conclude our season. And look at all the fans. I think we might break a dozen for our possible title-winning matchup here. I think for this match as well, we're going to add latest scores so we can maybe see how things are going elsewhere. So Heath Rangers is up 1-0 early on. Dodds puts the free kick over top of the net. So we've slipped to second place. But Skanes Hill at the moment is also tied 0-0. If things remain the way they are, we will comfortably move ahead. Heath Rangers now up 2-0. They're in fine form to close out the season. But all we need is one goal. All we need is one goal. If we take care of our business, goal differential won't mean a thing. Dodds plays it over to Stone. Stone up to Parsons. Looks to play it into the box. Houghton can't get on the end of it. Jennings doesn't shoot all that often. He only has one finishing anyway. Lee Parsons scrambles it over. He's fairly wasteful with the ball at times. But controlling the bulk of the possession. Should we work into the box? Sure, let's work it into the box. Not a whole lot of highlights so far. We're blasting through this first half. No, not the best half. I think we're going to bring in Hotchkiss for Parsons as our lone change. Already on a yellow. Hasn't been playing overly well anyway. Just encourage him. Get him in good spirits. And see if we can find a title-winning goal in the second half. Dodds moving down the wing. Dispossessed. Dribbled himself into a bit of trouble there. Houghton with one. Plays into the box. Dodds over the net. Not really known for his aerial ability, but he gets on the end of that cross and almost puts us ahead. Gordon just puts it over the net. That was close. So the only game that really matters is the the Skanes Hill is the one that really matters, I suppose. And that's still 0-0. And with about 30 minutes to go, Ringmer pulls one back, 2-1. So we may be in good shape still, as long as Skanes Hill... Well, even then, Skanes Hill has to win by 5 goals. So at this point, or combined, we have to lose, and they need to win. Both those need to happen, and it needs to combine for a goal differential shift of at least 5, and then I'm not sure what the tiebreaker would be. I can't remember if we've won both of our matches against them, or if we're 1-1, or how it shakes out. So not a whole lot of tension in terms of our promotion hopes, but it would be nice to win the division. Whipped into the box. Walker, good safe save from Robertson. Keeps us tied 0-0 here. With quite a bit of possession, I'm going to move more controlling. I would like to win the league. Based, just on the maths, it's so doubtful that Skanes Hill will be able to catch us. I would like to win this game and wrap up the league. It would be really nice to win the division. Jeez, I saw the net go. I thought that was in. We just clipped the back. I think we're going to bring in Sullivan. Sullivan as a supporting target man. We'll push Hayes up in a more attacking role. see what we can do. Good tackle there. No, not a good tackle from Kabaki. This will likely be our 6th yellow of the match. But with time dwindling down, Skanes Hill has been unable to solve Fair Warp's defense, and we should be getting promoted. But again, I just want this one goal. I just want one goal. Just want the one. Callum Woods, and he's getting sent off. There's a second yellow. Okay, so Darren Clark is going to come on for Hayes, drop him back into a ball-winning midfielder role. Dodds staying there as our shadow striker. And we'll move back to a countering aspect, but we don't have Ryan Salmon's pace, and you really start to see the offense, their lethality really dwindles without Ryan Salmon's pace up front. Houghton works okay as a secondary option up front. Doesn't have as much pace, but he's really quality finisher. So maybe I should have gone with a two-man setup today with Sullivan and Houghton at the front, but it is what it is. Fair Warp scores to put them ahead, so we're going to comfortably earn our promotion. Unless we can find a goal here. Oh, jeez. Whip it back into the box. Can we get one? No, but that's full time. We do achieve our promotion. We come second in the division. I'm just going to say they're unlucky and just move on from this. So we didn't win the league, but we did at least achieve my minimal expectation, which is earning promotion. The board, however, are ecstatic at 92% confidence there, 72% confidence from the Mid-Sussex Junior Cup, and they didn't really care about the Brian Hall Challenge or the Tester Challenge Cups. So before we move on, I guess to sort of just briefly recap, taking a look at the league, Ryan Salmon tied for most goals in the league with James Harts from Heath Rangers. Robert Close also had cracks the top 3, also from Heath Rangers. But in terms of average rating, Ryan Salmon and Mick Dodds both had very strong seasons. You can see Ryan Salmon's 17 goals in 25 appearances and 11 assists from all competitions. So he had a very strong season. Mick Dodds, very young. He's only 17, so there's quite a bit of development for him still ahead. So hopefully he can continue and develop and improve along with us moving forward. You can see his current ability has a very average rating only for the U team, like 1 silver star, but he has some fairly good potential. So he should be able to improve. But despite this, he's already done very well for us. So we'll see how he does next season. But you can see 10 goals and 6 assists through 21 starts and 2 appearances off the bench. So a good season for the 17-year-old as well. Mick Dodds and Ryan Salmon tied for the league lead in assists. Ryan Salmon second in terms of Player of the Match awards. Greg Robertson, 5 clean sheets. Did very well for us. 5 clean sheets in 11 appearances, only conceding 7 goals. Once I gave him a shot in the first team, he did very, very well compared to Aaron Grundy, who, as I believe I mentioned earlier, we lost to Borowash in East Midlands County Football League, so I'm not sure which tier that would be in. So moving forward, let's just recap our squad in its entirety. So the most appearances with Neil Kabaki playing in 26 matches, Jay Taylor in 25, Ryan Salmon missing the final 2. He would have been at the top with 27 appearances, but he was injured for a couple with 25 appearances. Mick Dodds, Carl Stone, Ray Keogh. So we had a fairly straightforward and consistent team selection after the first couple of weeks of the season. Once I sort of worked out who was working, who wasn't working, brought in some more players. In terms of goals, we only had 1 or 2 players who we could consistently rely upon, and that was Ryan Salmon and Mick Dodds as well. And if those players weren't scoring, well, we were in a lot of trouble. So when Ryan Salmon went down, you can see no goals from the 2 matches that he was in. And you can see 17 goals and 11 assists. If he wasn't putting it in the back of the net, he was passing it to whoever was putting it in the back of the net, often Mick Dodds, or on some occasion, Paul Houghton. Ollie Hotchkiss had a couple. Reese Hayes had a couple as well. Jay Taylor had 1 from a corner. But we had a sort of a selection of the odd goal here or there. In terms of assists, our other striker, Kelvin Sullivan, no goals from his 10 appearances and 3 assists, all of which came in that 1 game. So at the age of 24, I don't know if I likely won't keep him around. He didn't do anything for us. Leroy Jennings and Reese Hayes and McDodds all led the team in terms of passing. Leroy Jennings, our lone non-English player, is actually a Tonga international with 4 caps for his club, and you can see decent speed, good technical ability for this level of play. So he was a very good deep lying playmaker. He only had 3 assists and 1 goal in the season, but he was a very good sort of, sit a little bit further back, gain control of the ball, and make good clean passes to retain possession to our more creative players like Reese Hayes and then McDodds up front along with Ryan Salmon. So this is sort of what our team looked like over the course of this season, and we'll sort of see what we have moving forward. So I'm going to jump ahead a little bit so we can get to our season end of awards, maybe the Team of the Year stuff, and then do sort of a final recap before we conclude and move towards our second season of this lower league save. So to our end of season review and end of season awards, you can see no real surprises up here. Ryan Salmon chosen as the fans player of the season, 35% of the vote. Jay Taylor was a very solid defender all season, gets 29%, and then McDonald's with 23%. Signing of the season was Reese Hayes. Young player of the season was Jay Taylor at 18 years of age. I'll get to the goal of the season in just a second. Top goal scorer, Ryan Salmon. So all the offense came from Ryan Salmon. Darren Clark at the most yellows. 3 players had reds this season. Reese Hayes had our best completion rate. So for goal of the season, we go back all the way to, I think, one of the first games of the season with Ashley Williscroft, who did not feature for us very much. 8 appearances, 13 through all competitions. Just this 1 goal. Only had the 1 goal, and we're going to take a look at it at the end of the season. But here's Williscroft, well outside the box, steps right into it in the bottom of the corner from well outside the box, beautifully placed with some pace. Didn't surprise me all that much that ended up being our goal of the season. So for our season review, you can see our 4 competitions here. We lost in the first round of the Brian Hall Challenge Cup. We lost in the semifinal of the Mid-Sussex Junior Cup. Runners-up to the league division. Lost in the first round of the Tester Challenge Cup. Had a big 4-0 win over Maresfield Village. Our average attendance was 15, 1% of our capacity. Our capacity, I believe, is 1,000. Used 30 total players, so a fairly large squad this season. A lot of it was at the beginning where I was sort of working out who was actually going to be working in and playing with the formations a little bit. So confidence review, and I'll do the team meetings and everything by myself later on, but confidence review, the board are absolutely delighted. Williscroft, our goal of the year winner, is regarded by the fans as a poor signing. He won't be featuring next year anyway. He's 37 years old. He's declining on pretty much all fronts. So he won't be in our club next season. Training summary, not a whole lot to speak of. Salmon declined a little bit. Williscroft declined quite a bit. Everyone else was sort of... There's a lot of people complaining about the high workload. And our high workload included, I think, 2 practices a week in a game. So can't request improve. We have no money. We can have a 5-week preseason, sure. But just to take a quick look at our finances, you can see it's not very good. We're not paying anything for our players, but I guess we still have to pay for, the field itself, travel costs for our away games and stuff like that, the maintenance of the field. And throughout the season, there were some press conferences about the poor state of our field, so may have to get some injection from the board or get some money from them. But like this club doesn't make any money, so I don't know where that'll come from. In terms of income, month to month, it really relies just upon a little bit of fundraising, gate receipts, and match day income, and that's pretty much it. Obviously, there's no prize money at this level, there's no sponsorships, there's no season ticket holders. Oh, well, apparently there is a little bit, just a tiny bit right at the beginning of the season, but no merchandise, no investments, no grants, no anything really. So we're very limited in terms of our income, no wages, but negative 4,641 pounds. It's not good, but it's not terrible, I guess, moving forward. So that about wraps up our first season. I will sort of get through our preseason, get us all set up for our second season in the 21st tier of English football, and give you a brief recap of what our transfers are moving into our second season. And hopefully we can have similar success and continue our rise through the 22 tiers of English football. So if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you'd like to see moving forward, and I'll speak to you next time.